Hi folks, here am I again to showcase another project. This time I'm back with a dashboard that's completely responsive and battle tested with more than 20 different devices. Throughout the video, I will show how responsive works. Because dashboards are usually formal and boring, I just came up with something different. My dashboard was designed for facilities such as hotels, factories, schools, etc. to provide a bird's eye view. So let's see the components. Up here we have bubble components. They are our menu tabs which show pop-up details when clicked. And bubble component receives two props, title and icon. Title and icon. Both title and icon have to be HTML elements. By the way, I will include a screenshot at the very end of the video to show you what these components look like in VS Code. So let's click on the bubble occupancy rate. This opens a new component which I named percentage visual. This component receives so many props. You can define different colors for empty and occupied items. You can also make it single column or double column by passing a Boolean value into the component. You can also change the icon that represents the percentage rate. For this presentation, I used bed icon. When you pass a percentage value into the component, it colors as many items as needed to visualize that rate. For example, 75%. For 75%, 7 bed icons are colored red to show that they are occupied. On the right-hand side, in this column, 4 bed icons are filled in red, 1, 2, 3, and 4, to represent 40% of occupancy rate. So total 10 items for 100%, with each accounting for 10%. 10, 20, 30, and 40%. So depending on your preferences, you can increase the number of icons up to 100 to create more precise representation. The title for the component is also a separate prop. You can change the title, you can change the number of columns, icons, color of the icons, etc. So what happens when I click this visitors bubble? This time we see yet another component that I call gauges. Gauges component consists of 3 gauges that show a ranking order between 3 values. In my dashboard, the example is the number of top 3 visitors this hotel has hosted. As you can see in the gauges, the indicator in each gauge points at a different value. Gauges component receives a background image as props. And in this example, our gauges display the number of Russian tourists or British tourists visiting this hotel. Finally, let me show you one more component by clicking on Finance Bubble. Finance Bubble opens up cell components. In this example, I included 3 cells, but you can increase the number of cells. Every cell component receives 2 props, title and content. And again, title and content must be HTML elements. In the first cell, we see the total revenue for different time periods. In the second, we see a yearly comparison for revenues, and finally, a cell that includes contact information for urgent calls. In this example, Chief of Department. Before showing you the VS Code screenshot, let's have a final look at how responsive design works. Currently, we see the design for laptops and large screens, and if I change the screen size, we see the design for tablets and smaller devices, and finally, mobile devices. And again, for visitors bubble, we see the gauges, laptops, tablets, smaller devices, and finally, mobile devices. And this is the screenshot I mentioned at the beginning. My components look like this. Bubble and cell components, they accept two different props, title and title details. You can pass any HTML elements into these components. And percentage visual component, it receives so many props. It receives font awesome icons or color values as string, and an integer value for percentage rate, a boolean value to create single or double column chart, and also the same props for the second column.